This show is brought to you by Directory.com, the safest way to hire a contractor.
Wow, what a call. What do you think, Randy?
Unbelievable. Wow. Yeah.
Like it sounds to me like a business model for CMR. Honestly, guys, this is a gold mine. You can go and sign a whole bunch of contracts, collect 25% cancellation fees by being a bad contractor, and 25% of the work you didn't do is way more profitable than 10% net profit that average roofer gets
You never
if he
have to
does all the job.
you never have to put on cougar paws.
Well, so what do you think? Reasonable, not reasonable? Who are you siding with here?
Oh, absolutely with the homeowner. I don't think there's going to be a person that listens to that doesn't I mean except maybe the CMR side, but that doesn't it was the audacity as a contractor. I'm kind of embarrassed that they're on our side, and that's just my personal opinion that they would ask for that when they nothing was done. Like according to the homeowner, nothing was done except they came to the house, they pulled up in his driveway, unsolicited, by the way. It sounds like the neighbor sent him over and got told him he had damage or it was obvious. They filed a claim, and that was it. They filed a claim, signed a contract, and then no work was done. And I mean, how many years was it caught up in
Four
litigation?
years
Three
ago,
years,
2021.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
4 years later. I actually made a decision. We're going to create a new policy for directory.com, and we're going to start looking at cancellation policies. And if I catch any contractor out there who is on my recommendation list who has 25% cancellation fee or probably more than 10, I think 10 is where my comfort zone ends. If you're the contractor and you're trying to collect more than 10% of the work you didn't do, I don't think I can recommend you. And that just you know triggered it because I put myself in the shoes of the homeowner, because imagine how frustrating it's gonna be where there's nothing else you can do. How much money do you have to lose, and where are you gonna find the money to complete the project, because you still have to do the work, you still have to hire a contractor, but now you just lost 25%. If it's $100,000 job, you just lost $25,000. And in this case, because a lawyer was involved in public adjuster, it's $21,000 on a $52,000 claim. Insanity. So contractors, always be reasonable. Be the most reasonable guy in the room, and you will get more out of it. And if you're the homeowner, text me your story. If you have dispute with a contractor, if you have a crazy story you want to share with us on the radio, I'm a big texter. Just text me 612-558-4881. I reply to all of my texts, and we'll get you on the show, hear your story, help you any way we can. But CMR case is crazy to me. They also, for those of you who never heard of CMR Construction, they're one of the largest roofers in the country. At their peak, they were doing $179 million in business. That's a lot of business. That's a lot of jobs. Unfortunately, and they to this day they're collecting, 1.5, $2 million a week. So they're still, money machine, but they mismanage their funds. They were running like a Ponzi scheme at one point, and they got into $30-40 million debt. So they actually got bought out. I don't know, Randy, if you know it, but they found an investor who came in, and I feel like that investor contributes to this pressure to make money. So they from outside in looking in, seems to me that they're just trying to find cash. That's the only explanation I have.
It's absolutely the only thing that makes sense.
Going in is
Especially
like, who else can we go on after? I mean, how else can you explain going after 3-4 years old claims? I mean, this is not invoices, this is not the work we did do, this is the work we didn't do. And also, when I've been a contractor myself, right, for 7 years. Usually, what do we do when we need cash? We offer discounts, we offer settlement, right? Especially if you have a bad debt. Let's say someone does not pay you and it's 3 years old, right? Will you take payments? Usually, yes. Will you take less? Usually, yes, right? Like you will accept 50 cents on a dollar, 10 cents. I mean, that's what credit cards do. That's what banks do. Everybody does it. You
Yeah, and you
know,
write the loss off.
yeah, write it off. It's been 3, 4 years. But to go off, and especially if you didn't do anything, it's not like you loaned people, $50,000, and now you're willing to accept 10K. You did not even do anything. So like everything is a profit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I as I continued to listen to that, I was waiting. I had my contractor ear on, just waiting for that aha moment where it's like, I don't know, but I think you nailed it. Like any judge that listens to that, it seems like it's completely one sided. I can't see anybody. If our justice system is everything that I know it is, then no judge or jury is going to listen to that and go, oh yeah, no, you owe him $21,000.
and there's one more thing, guys. There's two things that contractors fear the most, in my experience. Number one, they fear that you will actually show up in a court date, because if you show up, it's going to be a fight. And you'll have to convince the judge that you're right and they're wrong and blah, blah, blah. And, judges don't always rule, on the accuser side. Even, yeah, they can bully you because they'll have good lawyers, whatever. But if you're a reasonable homeowner and you have your paperwork in order and you have a storyline, I mean, judges don't just rule for contractors. Like I've covered the news so many times where it doesn't matter who's who. Is the most reasonable person, the most prepared, who usually wins. So that's number one. And number two, publicity. Give them negative publicity. Contractors hate reviews. They hate when local news companies run story about them. They hate it with passion. They would rather you go away because you become a problem. It costs them more business. And so many homeowners are because I talk to them. I invite them to the show. I invite them to do the podcast. And I salute the homeowners who goes with it, because social media and media in general is a third party. That's why they use it in politics and everywhere else. Because when you go with your story, you will destroy that reputation. It'll be harder for them to keep doing what they're doing. They can bully you in the email. They can bully you with the legal letter, cease and desist or whatever, with a threat to sue you. But if you take it to the public, if you take it to the news and you will share your story, guess what? People might cancel them. People might side with you, and you might go viral for sharing your story. People might back you up. And how many stories do we know like that? I know contractors who went bankrupt, closed their doors because how they treated homeowners, and local news would pick up the story. What do you
Well,
think?
from the contractor perspective, this is the whole reason why our company is on contractor directory and the good contractors list, is because of exact stories like this that scare the crap out of consumers.
Mhm.
And when they hear that the company that I'm considering has chosen a third party to back up their work because of this scare, they have a lot more confidence in it. And so that's, you could look at our reputation, you could look at our rating and see that there is zero reason why we should be on one of those lists. We don't need to. Our reputation precedes us, but it's stories like this that we hear as contractors who are trying to do it the right way that we end up having to go out and figure out a unique way to let the customer know, listen, we're not those guys. We're not going to be the company that screws you. We're going to do the job you hired us to do and do it right, and we want your business in the future as well. So
And I also want to point this out. When I look at the estimate or contract between CMR and this homeowner, there's a two logos there. It's BBB and National Roofing Contractor Association. So CMR paid both of those companies to list them, to back them up, right? And so it's both companies are paid to play. And I would argue that there are a lot of badges in the industry that no good to the consumer or to the contractor. It's a fake sense of security. It's a fake sense of trust. And when I see it, and now looking back, like you have a contract and you see, Better Business Bureau badge, and you see a roofing contractor association badge, and you're like, oh, this is legit. It's not. That's what scammers use. That's what con artists use. If I would be a con artist and I want to deceive someone, that's what I would do, because that's the easiest path. You just go pay BBB, and they give you badge, and you go and it's like, well, I'm BBB accredited, and there's nothing you can do. But the problem is the consumer is not protected. When something like this happen, where are they? In this case, when a contractor demands $22,000 payment, those companies like, well, hire on your own risk. Well, what your badge worth? Like, does it worth anything? Do you have any standards at all? Anybody can get it. If anybody can get it, what's the point of your standard? There's no standard. This very, very sad story with the whole BBB. I mean, I feel like in over 100 years, they did not solve the problem, because they're collecting a couple $100 million a year, issuing badges and only collecting money for themselves. Never ever make it right for the. Think about this. Every year, BBB opens over 6,000 complaints with the roofers alone, and over 3,000 of them go unresolved. And the number does not go down. Year over year, it's only growing up. So why are we paying them? Like, if you imagine, if you have a business for 100 years and your number never goes down, the problem you're trying to solve never goes down. It's only going up. But you're the one who's collecting a couple $100 million, nonprofit,
Right.
Like what? Why are we in business? What are we doing here? Nothing. It's a pay to play. That's what it is. So be careful where you find your roofer. It does matter, because I believe that platform that makes a recommendation is responsible for that recommendation. That's what both directory and good contractor are listed for. If they make bad recommendation, you can file a claim back, and they will reimburse you. I want to finish with a story from Canada at the end about power of media. Couple of years ago, I shared a story. It was a story of dispute between contractor and tenant. So two tenants wrote one-star review for the contractor. So the contractor worked in a house, and something went bad. Like they were not on time, or anyway. So tenant was not a client of the contractor, but nevertheless, they have experience with him, and they did not like how they did the roof, how they treated them, whatever. So they went and wrote them one-star reviews. Contractors send them a letter, say, I'm going to sue you for defamation over one-star review for $100,000, right? Because they can. They're big guys, and you're no one. I'm big, you're small. I'm going to sue you. Homeowner called the local news, and they went on air. Long story short, that contractor received so many one-star reviews after. Everybody was defending the tenants, like, who do you think you are? You think you can just sue people for $100,000 just because you're so big and blah, blah, blah? And this is the lesson here, too. I feel like CMR thought that, they're the largest company in the country. They're $175 million. They have lawyers. They have whatever they have, right? And at the end of the day, they only got in trouble. At the end of the day, they've been prosecuted. Attorney General's after them, BBB's after them, all their licenses. Everybody's turning away from you. When you do wrong, when you practice evil in business, when you think that you're too big to fail, it's only one way, and it's down. So for my contractors, if you think you're untouchable, think twice. You're never too big to fail. Do you agree, Randy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's something that you always have to remember. In fact, you have a bigger target sometimes on your back, the bigger you get.
Yes.
So
I shared it.
you gotta earn it new every day.
Absolutely. I just shared it for my homeowners. For those of you who think, well, I have a story too, but I don't want to share it because, what if they do this? Do not be afraid. If you're in the right, share your story, share it publicly. You can text us. Again, my number is 612-558-4881. I'll call you. I'll text you. I'll help you with all resources that I have. Thank you so much for being here today for our very first episode of Morning Brew with the Homeowners. Thanks, Randy, and I'll see you guys next Saturday.